Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Hospitality Highlights by the WVHTA. Today I'm joined by WVHTA Board President Buddy Butler and the new Secretary of the Department of Tourism, Chelsea Ruby. How are you guys doing today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So we'll get right into it because this has been an exciting time for your office and for tourism in the whole state of West Virginia. And can you just provide us with a brief update on the tourism industry in West Virginia, especially after the last 18 months during the pandemic?
Sure, absolutely. First, it goes without saying that it's been a really tough year for so many of our partners. Nationwide, tourism and hospitality was one of the hardest hit industries in the entire pandemic. We saw some great losses in West Virginia, and those partners have worked really hard to recover. I will say, thanks to the leadership in West Virginia, we didn't see losses at the same level as a lot of other states. We were pretty fortunate in that matter. And then we've seen our recovery has gone up much, much quicker than it has around much of the country. So today, what you see when you look at the trends in West Virginia is we're actually seeing more arrivals, meaning that we're seeing more people coming into the state and West Virginians traveling around the state than we did before the pandemic. So we are very proud to see that those numbers have increased. It follows the trajectory that we were on before the pandemic, but I think the pandemic has given us an even greater opportunity with so many people wanting to see the outdoors. So if you dig a little more specifically into those or a little deeper into those numbers, you're gonna see a couple trends emerge. You're gonna see that hotels, some of our hotels are still down, and that's because meetings and conventions haven't come back yet. So go out and plan your meetings today. But that's the main thing that we're seeing. We're also seeing exponential increases in vacation rentals. So we are one of the fastest growing vacation rental states in the country. We're really, really proud of that. And we're working with those partners to see how we can continue to see that growth and continue to build more inventory in West Virginia. And then again, like everybody continues to talk about, anything related to the outdoors is just exploding. If you can do it outside, we have more and more people doing it than we ever have before. Record-breaking attendance at our parks and our public lands. The new national park attendance is way up. Bicycles are still sold out. Kayaks are still sold out. Everything is out, and we're just so excited that people are finding West Virginia as a place to explore the great outdoors.
Yeah, that's music to our ears, and I'm sure some of our members' ears as well. Just after such a hard time, the hospitality and tourism industry, I know I've said this before, was hit the first and probably the worst due to the pandemic. So some of those trends coming back are very positive. One of the things we did hit on is your new title as Secretary of the Department of Tourism. That was passed by the legislature this year in House Bill 2019. And what do you hope to accomplish in that new title and expanded role for you and your office?
Yeah, so first I want to say thanks to the governor and the legislature. This isn't just about the position that I'm in now. This is about the future of tourism in West Virginia. They've both made this great recognition that tourism is the future here and that it is a bright spot in the economy and something that's sticking around and is going to continue to grow. So I want to thank everyone for their support. It means a lot. Not every state gets the support we get in West Virginia for tourism, and so it doesn't go unnoticed. But as far as what it means that we're going to continue doing all the things that we've been doing the last 4 years. We're going to continue pushing out the Almost Heaven brand, telling our stories, working with our partners to provide assistance for them to tell their stories. But I think there's two things that you'll really see more of from our office. The first one, and this is a trend that's been going for the last couple of years, is we're really working harder at the economic development side of tourism. So that's something that now falls under our office, is for us to be working with businesses. So working to bring in new businesses, but also to work with our existing tourism businesses to help them grow and expand in West Virginia. So you'll see a lot more. I think just this week, I've already done calls with about 6 different investors who are looking at new or expansion projects. So we're really excited about that. The second thing is we're looking at how do we extend the Almost Heaven brand. We, over the last 4 years, have worked hard to make sure that everything coming out of our office and everything that we work on with partners is branded Almost Heaven. John Denver gave us this gift 50 years ago, and we want to make sure that we continue using that. And so we are going to continue looking at that brand and seeing how can we put it in more places. Last year, you saw us start working with the Trucking Association and doing a lot of trucks, but I think there's a lot of opportunity to do more to really extend the brand brand in other places. So we're looking at creative ways to do that. But those are the two main things. But again, we're just going to continue working with all of our great partners out there to help them tell their stories.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, one of the things you hit on was more investment, and the legislature just passed a bill. If you want to touch on that to help with potential investment in Southern West Virginia.
Yeah, so we have an existing tax credit, which I believe is the best tax credit in the country. It's the Tourism Development Act tax credit. It's a tremendous incentive for new and existing companies who want to expand here. But on top of that, we also just received an additional $5 million for the New River Gorge Opportunity Fund. That was put into the Department of Tourism's budget, and that's a fund that we're going to use to see if we can take advantage of this new designation there and bring some new investment to that area. We know that one of our shortfalls in West Virginia, or one of our areas where we can grow, is length of stay. The average traveler to West Virginia is still staying under 3 nights. And we know to get that up, we've got to do one of two things or both. We've got to get people to connect the dots around West Virginia and visit multiple regions on their stay, or we've got to add more activities and amenities within our region. So we're going to use that fund to look at the New River Gorge first. I'm hopeful that we're going to have great success there, and then we can expand the opportunity funds around the state.
Yeah, that's great. And, obviously the New River Gorge Park designation was just massive for West Virginia and tourism, as that is a draw to millions and millions of people who just want to see every national park. So that was a great win for the state. If you want to hit on that, and then maybe what are some also wins for the tourism industry in West Virginia recently, other than the park designation?
Yeah, the park designation is the greatest gift we've ever received. I mean, if you think about the National Park Service has been around over 100 years. In that time, they've only designated 62 parks before us. We're number 63. This isn't something that they hand out easily. It is a tremendous designation. And what it does is it gives us that gold seal of approval. So to so many travelers, both domestic and international travelers, that's what they look for. Those are the places they want to go. They travel around the US visiting those parks. So now it's elevated our status, I think, as a tourism destination. A lot more eyes are on West Virginia. We've seen more articles in national publications for that designation than anything else we've ever done. So we're just thrilled about it. And we're looking for ways that we can take advantage of it, both on the advertising side, but also on the development side. We're super excited about the potential there. And a lot of people ask me, how does that help me? I'm not in that region. And I would tell you, it helps our whole state. It elevated the state as a whole, but also those folks, we want them to travel. We don't just want them to go to that region. We want them to go to other places. So if you can't tell, I'm super excited about it and could go on and on about that for a long time.
I think, one thing that hopefully will grow over time, particularly if you think about it, if you take a beach trip, let's say you rent a house and then that's your hub and you go do things from that location, and, the growth of lodging in that area will help a lot. And I think that will help a lot around West Virginia to have those hubs where, 16 people can stay at a home and they can go out and explore. And that's an area of growth that I think will happen pretty quickly.
Yep. And we're already starting to see some of that movement. I couldn't be more excited about it.
Yeah, that's great. Speaking of people coming to West Virginia, I know the tourism office has been involved with the relocation campaign of Ascent West Virginia. And it's a super exciting program offering people a chance to either come back home or come to a place that they didn't know they needed to be, which would be their home, to work. And so I wanted to know how that's going so far and how the project is proceeding.
Yeah, so the project has been an overwhelming success so far. So after 6 weeks, we closed down the application window for Morgantown's Ascent program. And that is the program that's funded by Brad and Elise Smith. We are very grateful for their long-term commitment to West Virginia, but specifically for this program. So in 6 weeks, we received over 7,500 applications for 50 spots. Wow. So there's a team that's dwindling those down now and trying to get down to 50, and hopefully that'll come out here soon. But there's a larger opportunity here. And, if you've heard Brad speak about this, you've heard his vision of, West Virginia can really be a hub for these workers. We have everything that they need. Plus we have this amazing outdoor recreation. So if you're somebody who likes to be outdoors, you move to West Virginia, as you guys know, you can suddenly go take a hike on your lunch break. You can get your kayak out and get on the river after work. I mean, it's just an incredible way of life. You know, I moved here from DC about 10 years ago, and I traded in my hour commute for a 5-minute commute, and I've never looked back. So, you know, I tell folks all the time, we're really grateful to be a part of the Ascent program and all the other remote work programs developing in the state, because it gives us an opportunity to extend that Almost Heaven brand. And instead of promoting just vacations, we now promote these permanent vacations to West Virginia. So it's a great success. We're looking forward to expanding Ascend into Lewisburg and Shepherdstown, and then also continuing to support the other remote worker programs around the state.
Yeah, it's such a unique program, and you know, very very successful so far, and hopefully will lead to, you know, wild success down the road as people decide to stay here. You know, moving forward, you know, we're coming out of pandemic. Things are starting to look better for the industry. What are some goals for the tourism industry? You know, not for only the next 6 months in 2021, but for the future.
You know, we were really fortunate when the pandemic first started, that we had some funds that we were able to shift over and help our partners for advertising. We have a cooperative advertising program that allows our partners to get a dollar for dollar match on advertising. As soon as the pandemic hit, I said, we can't have them stop advertising. I mean, we know business is down and we know they don't have the funds to advertise, but we've got to help. So we immediately stepped up that match to an 80-20 match. So now we're paying 80 cents on the dollar for their advertising that runs through our program. Plus we handle the creative costs and placement costs. That has been an overwhelming success because it's kept West Virginia relevant. We've continued to run ads, and we're running ads at a greater frequency than so many of our surrounding states because their partners don't have this match and they're not able to do it. So we just closed down the portal for fall advertising. I can tell you we had a record-breaking number of purchases this season. So we're going to be in full force in fall, and we're really excited about it. But I think as we look forward to this post-pandemic life and what is it like and how do we work with partners, we want to continue to be there to provide resources. We know that a lot of people are saying the pandemic is over, you know, we're moving out of this, but those folks still have significant deficits for the times that they were closed. And so we want to continue to be here to be a resource, to give them the most up-to-date information on research, to continue helping them with advertising, and to be a resource on PR. At the end of the day, what we want to do is we want to continue to generate revenue for our local communities. We want to improve the spaces in West Virginia for West Virginians to get out and explore the state. But ultimately, we want to grow the tax base because we want to put money back into those communities so we can keep reinvesting. So that's the end goal. We want to make sure that the jobs go up and that the taxes get put back into our communities and we continue to improve them.
Yeah, you know, speaking of those, you know, such as the co-op program and others, where can WVHTA members and others in the tourism industry find out more about the programs and assistance that your office offers?
Yeah, you can go to our website, wvtourism.com, and scroll all the way down to the footer and click on industry resources. We'll get you signed up for our portal. I would encourage anybody who's not currently working with our office to go a step further. Call us or send us an email. We'd love to do a call with you to tell you all the services we provide, photography, listings on our websites, the advertising assistance, all the different things we can do. I think it's helpful for new businesses or folks we haven't worked with before to just do a one-on-one with us and let us tell you how these services might help.
Sure. And, you know, last but not least, you know, what opportunities do you see on the horizon that will positively affect the tourism industry in West Virginia?
So I think that we have to continue listening to consumers. So when we look at consumer trends right now, we see road trips, we see the outdoors, and we see small towns. Those are 3 of the top 5 things that consumers nationwide want in their vacations right now. So we have a tremendous opportunity to position ourselves as the ultimate road trip destination. So I think we'll continue doing that. I get calls all the time from folks who say, the outdoors might not be my thing. I'm a museum. And I always tell them, but wait, the outdoors is West Virginia's thing. We get them to West Virginia, but they need activities to do. So these things all fit together. All these puzzle pieces fit together. So whether you're a restaurant, you're a museum, you're a music group, whatever you are, you're helping provide that culture in West Virginia that creates the memories. Those are the things people remember. They're not going to remember our ads necessarily. They're going to remember that great meal that they had, that really unique place that they had or the hospitality that they have. So we're going to continue working and trying to take advantage of these shifting traveler changes and making sure that we position West Virginia. You know, a couple of years ago, we were fighting against the big cities because there was this, you know, people wanted to go to all the big cities. They wanted to make sure they were doing the main, you know, US destinations. Well, now suddenly everyone wants the hidden small towns. So we've just got this great opportunity. Couldn't be more excited about it. And we really appreciate all of our partners rallying together through the pandemic. I think everyone's gotten a lot closer. I know even the three of us, we've sent 10 times more emails than we would have and phone calls in a regular year just to sort through the COVID guidelines. But it gave us all an opportunity to figure out how we could work together better. And so I think that those trends hopefully will stay, will continue staying as a more close-knit tourism community.
I had a question, and maybe this is a little off topic though, but has the political environment, I mean, it's been somewhat hostile over the last, 18 months. Has that affected your messaging at all? Because I feel like the Almost Heaven brand works really well to pacify some of that, but I'm just curious if that has influenced your messaging at all.
It really hasn't, as far as what our messaging has been. You know, it's funny, I do a lot of calls with the other state tourism offices, and a lot of folks have kind of had to scramble to change their messaging to better reflect all the political stuff going on and also the pandemic, but we haven't done that. Our messaging's the same. We've always been about small towns. We've always been about, Appalachian culture and the outdoors. And so we really haven't shifted. And I think somehow our message has still remained really relevant. This year we had a great opportunity with the 50th anniversary of Country Roads, which has been nice timing for us in the year of the road trip. But no, not really. The messaging is always kind of the same.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's the plan? Obviously we're having an influx of people that have not been here before, which is awesome. So what's, kind of strategies to make sure that they keep coming back? Maybe talk through that a little bit.
Yeah, so we're doing a number of things to work with consumers once they get here. Like you said, a lot of these people haven't been here, and we know we're not the easiest state to navigate, right? There's all these country roads are beautiful, but it's hard to find your way around. And we've got still some issues with self-service and mapping and whatnot. So we're really working to try to take some of our advertising dollars and shift them to end market experiences. So a number of things, we're working on upgrading all the welcome centers. We want them to be more than a bathroom break. We want them to be places where you can go and get information, trip inspiration, and really better spend your time. But we're also looking to start doing some advertising in market. So when we see a cell phone come online from another state in West Virginia, we can geofence and give them targeted ads about what there is to do in that region. And that's also something we're offering for the first time through co-op this year in the fall season, is we want to make sure that we're providing more information and that we're getting more out. One other thing that's been successful on that front is we're up 230% in travel guide requests this year. People are really trying to plan their trips before they get here, which is a little bit of a shift in traveler change. But we're excited about it. We think it's a real opportunity to send them this high quality piece that then they can hang on to and bring when they come.
Great.
Yeah, I think the messaging is sort of clear, not only from the tourism office, but for anybody who's going to end up watching this video, is that, there's a positive trajectory here in West Virginia, and there's an exciting time for the tourism industry as a whole coming out of this bumpy road. And there's still going to be some challenges over the next 6 months, but the Mountain State, and thanks to our country roads, is well poised for a comeback. And so thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it. I know the WVHTA members are super appreciative of all your help through COVID and everything else. So thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you. If you have any members who I haven't talked to, I'd love to get in touch with them and see what we can do to give them more information about how our office can assist. So anybody out there, if I haven't talked to you, shoot me an email. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.